chapter 34 of Berserk. Basically, Casca is still venting to Guts, and if you forget, guys, she's still on her period, so she's very emotional, I'm assuming. So it's just even more emotional that she's actually venting her frustrations towards Guts and about Griffith and everything else. She explains, ever since that day he met you, he's changed. He's never said those words to anyone and hasn't since meeting you about wanting Guts, basically. And she basically says, I cannot forgive you for almost getting Griffith killed. I cannot forgive your selfishness. She always tried to convince herself that Griffith only wants Guts for his strength, nothing else. However, Griffith is always calm and collected, but when it comes to Guts, he's impulsive, and that's when she explains, "I can't forgive you for your selfishness. I can't forgive you that you almost got Griffith killed." She does not give two fucks if Guts dies in some battlefield, but she is not going to allow Guts to take down Griffith's dream with him. But in that very moment, when they're going to continue talking, and she actually gets very physical with Guts as well. She grabs Guts by the shoulders as she's saying this. And we get to see her sweet ass in that little robe or whatever she has on. But anyway, that's besides the point. It gets cut short because there's Tudor soldiers looking for them. And apparently this dude, Adon, once again, the dude's being an annoyance, put a bounty on their heads, dead or alive. He is so humiliated that he put a bounty on them, dead or alive. If this dude's a fucking annoyance. So Guts is like, we leave at nightfall, drink this. This will help your fever go down. And as they're traveling, we see Guts kind of egg Casca on because she falls down. She's weak from her fever and her period. And he kind of, says, women are a pain in the ass, this and other thing. Kind of egging her on, knowing that this would cause her to, muster up some strength and carry on. Because we see him actually smirk after she says, let's go, However, they get caught by Adon and a bunch of this dude's soldiers, and there's a lot of soldiers. And this chapter is actually called Prepared for Death Part 1. Now, I wonder who is prepared for death. Is it Casca or Guts or both of them? Because now they're surrounded by Tudor soldiers, and this dude Adon is fucking spitting off at the mouth. Once again, talking about his Cobblewitz family or whatever the fuck his family is called. Saying that he's not going to kill Guts. He's going to use some torture technique passed down through his family for generations to torture Guts. And one of Adon's soldiers is like, that's overkill. So apparently this torture technique is just really ridiculous. And then he says that Casca is going to be his men's play toys. And this is where a little bit of comedy comes in. Guts is like, you don't want it. She's a nightmare. She'll probably bite it off. Talking about their dicks. Thought that was pretty hilarious. And she hits him in the head. But I'm like, is it really time to be joking around like that, you two? Because you're about to do battle with a bunch of soldiers. And there's only two of you back to back. And basically Adon, kind of gets pissed and tells them to take, Guts is like, I don't think so. They start fighting. Guts is fucking dudes up. Casca cuts a dude's head clean off. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we've seen Casca actually dismember somebody. Maybe we've seen it in some past chapters, maybe once or twice. But this is the one that kind of stands out the most to me because she does this crazy movement, cuts him into a side, and then goes up and cuts this dude's head off. And she says, you did enough for me, Guts. And Guts is like, fair enough, And they're back to back with a bunch of Tudor soldiers around them now. I just don't know what's going to happen because how are they going to survive this? I feel like maybe Guts is going to because Guts keeps protecting her. Maybe Guts is going to sacrifice himself in some manner to let her get away, and he's going to continue the battle, stalling them from going after her so she can get away. And maybe she's going to get reinforcements to help Guts. But really, is Guts going to be able to hold out until she comes back with reinforcements? Is that even going to happen? Is she going to be able to go get reinforcements? You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe Casca's going to die. I don't know. But it's a very, very dire situation for the both of them because Casca's weak. Guts, is fighting outnumbered, but we've seen him fight outnumbered before and slaughter people. If he survives this, I'm going to assume that this news of him killing all these people is going to spread throughout the land if he survives. But we'll see what happens. A lot of different thoughts going through my head while reading this. And the title of the chapter kind of makes me wonder who is prepared for death and who might die. Or they might not die and all the other soldiers might die. I don't know. But really short chapter as far as dialogue goes. The last chapter, chapter 33, was a lot more heavy with dialogue, as we learned more about Griffith and Casca's past and how how Casca feels about Griffith. The beginning of this was nice because it ended Casca's rant and venting to Guts, but it allowed the story to move forward because they're being chased and they need to get away from these Tudor soldiers, but now they're surrounded. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. I'm going to assume Guts is going to slaughter all these motherfuckers, but not without taking some serious damage and having some grievous wounds. Because, I mean, come on, you're one man, dude, versus all these soldiers. There's probably 50 or more soldiers there. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I have for you guys. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter. Let me know your thoughts on my thoughts. Like the video if you feel I deserve it. And if you haven't done so yet and you feel the need and you want to see more of my content and you like what you just watched, hit the subscribe button for more of this content and other content as well. Just go over to my channel, hit my playlist area. You'll see a bunch of different ones for each different series I do, nicely organized, so you can check out my content and make a decision for yourself if you should check me out and subscribe and watch me on the regular, guys. Thanks for watching my review for Chapter 34 of Berserk. I will catch you in the next Berserk review. What is going to happen to Guts and Casca now?